Let's go to the Housing Minister, Michael Sukkar. He joins us live from Melbourne. Good to talk to you, Michael. I've been very complimentary about your housing policy, allowing people to leverage some of their own superannuation savings. We'll get into a bit more of that in a moment. But do you have any estimates of how many first home buyers in Australia would actually get involved in this scheme? What sort of a spending you would get from it?
Well, I think you can expect that there would be more than half would use this scheme, or more than half of first home buyers. Time will tell, Chris. We've obviously calibrated the policy to make it as available as possible for first home buyers to use some of their own savings to help them build the deposit, because we know the deposit's the biggest hurdle to getting into home ownership. Get them into that home and then responsibly reinvest it back into superannuation when they sell that home. So we think, given the parameters of the program, it would be very popular with first home buyers, and that's certainly the feedback we've received over the last couple of days.
To me, the clincher with this is the fact that when you sell the home, and let's face it, most people do sell their first home, they don't stay in the first home forever, that money goes back in with the capital gain into their super, because then you can't run this argument, even though people are trying to run it, that you're robbing the super. Obviously, that's not happening. When did that innovation, that twist on this sort of policy that's always been talked about, come to fruition? When did you decide on that?
Well, you're right, Chris. You can't run that argument any longer, because we know that first home buyers on average own their first home for 8 years. And at that time, at the 8-year mark, when they do dispose of their property, they will be required to reinvest it with a proportion of any capital gain. So you're right. You cannot run the argument that it diminishes retirement savings. It's the best of both worlds. You have your money, which you've worked hard for. And let's always remember, it's your viewers' money, Chris. It's not the government's money, it's not a fund manager's money, it's your viewers' money. They've worked hard for that. They can then have their money working hard for them to help them get into their first home, and then reinvesting it back, protecting their retirement savings. So that 8-year average for first home buyers means you do get the best of both worlds. And it's disappointing to see the usual critics, the vested interests that criticise this policy. Most of those who criticise it, I might add, Chris, are people who very comfortably own their own home, or in most cases own many homes. And it's just bizarre that anyone would want to deny first home owners or prospective first home buyers the opportunity to get that deposit together, utilising their own savings to do so, and then responsibly reinvesting it back at the end.
Well, exactly. I heard Labor's candidate for Parramatta, Andrew Charlton, attacking this policy today. Now, he lives in a $16 million mansion. He dropped $2 million on a house to live in his electorate. He's enrolled in another place. It'll be a couple of million, no doubt, in Wallara. Yet he's denying other Australians the right to use their money to get into the housing market. It is extraordinary. And I want to just show you quickly a headline from the Sydney Morning Herald, because we struggle to get views from the independents about what they'll do. But Allegra Spender, again, a millionaire who has a very comfortable living environment in the eastern suburbs, she says that this is the wrong policy. These are people very wealthy stopping young Australians using their own money to get a start.
Well, the great thing, Chris, is that people get to vote with their feet this Saturday. And yes, there are many people in harbourside mansions who own many properties who criticise this policy, but I know particularly young prospective first home owners who are paying their rent, meeting cost of living expenses, putting away a little bit of savings each and every week to build up their deposit, will see that this is a really important opportunity to get over that deposit hurdle, get into their own home. And we know from the Retirement Income Review and virtually any study, Chris, that has looked at this, that if you enter retirement owning your home, your financial security in retirement is infinitely better than if you enter retirement without owning a home. So
absolutely,
this is really
own your home
the best
first.
Of both worlds.
Yeah,
using
own your
it to
home
get
first
into your home
second,
and also protecting your savings.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks for joining us, Michael. I appreciate your time.
Good on you, Chris. Thanks so much.
Michael Sukkar there, the Housing Minister, Federal Housing Minister.